Hey, and welcome to Beer with Geeks. My name is Frank, and joining me, as he often does, sometimes does, is my good friend Vactor.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? It's good to see you today.
I love talking to Frank and I love talking to the other geek, but Frank is my favorite geek. He's always
Oh,
been my
sure, sure.
favorite.
As soon as Tim's gone, the favoritism kicks in. Okay, I see how it is. If you are wondering where is Tim, he just moments before we started to record found out that his second child is on the way. So we wish him and his whole family the best, and you'll hear when the baby is here. But yeah, they're on their way to the hospital to say hello to their the newest addition to their family. So please send them your warmest wishes. But Vactor has graciously stepped in to record. It was supposed to be the three of us, but now it'll just be the two of us. Anyway, in any case, it is a topic that you and I are both very much well versed in, and that's Superman. We've got a new season of My
Yay.
Adventures with Superman that just wrapped up, and we are gonna dive into it. We haven't really talked much about it as the season was airing. Um, I was pretty much consistently behind for most of the season, so we didn't dive into it too much. So I'm excited to hear your take on everything. But are you drinking anything tonight?
Yes. Almost I was gonna say in honor of Tim, our fallen
Ah,
geek, but this is a sparkling water, summer
ooh,
berry, Waterloo.
Waterloo.
So that is what I am drinking.
Lovely. Is it
The
is it
carbonation.
a medley of berries? Is it
It I really
mm,
can't tell any difference. It tastes like every flavored water to me tastes. I have no
mm.
palate for this. But I like the
I
pictures.
do
I
like the
like the
pictures.
berry
Yeah, yeah.
pictures.
Huh. Very nice. Very, very nice. I
Yay!
am drinking,
Ding.
Superman is a classic. Tim is a classic. And I thought I would bring the what I consider one of the classic beers of Beer with Geeks, which is the Sam Adams Porch Rocker. This is,
Ooh-wee.
I think, sort of the
Nice.
canonical summer beer of Beer with Geeks. I think we've been drinking this one
Nice.
every summer since the start. Um, I could probably
Dang.
go and see how many, because we listed the beers in every description. I could see when the first instance of the porch rocker was. That'd be kind of fun to check out, actually. But
That'll be
yeah,
interesting.
that's what I'm running with tonight. So that's their golden Hellas lager with fresh squeezed lemon juice. Um, it is a lemon radler, and it is delicious.
Nice.
It's got a nice lemonade flavor to it, and it's not too. It's a nice light lager to go with it. So
I love it.
let's get down. Let's get down to it. So this
Mm, mm,
season
mm.
on My Adventures with Superman, I said this to you and Tim as I was wrapping up my binge of the second half of the season. How on earth did they take a show that was already really good and make a season that was 10 times better? Like, this was such a whole new level of storytelling this season. Like a much more mature, much more just like so much of the groundwork has been laid that now they can just sort of get right into it and start and tell great stories like with these well established characters and their relationships. Now, I loved this season.
Yeah, it really was like now that I look back on it and think about it, that gap, that time off between the seasons, I didn't notice how much it changed from the previous season. I would say this was my favorite
Hmm.
season so far. I'm hoping for more, but it felt like they were more confident. It felt like they were just understanding of where they were and what tricks they could use. And I was listening to the showrunners talk on at Comic Con actually, and they were saying they would like to
Mm-hmm.
continue kind of this My Adventures universe. We already know we're getting My Adventures with
Mm-hmm.
Green Lantern, but they were talking about how they would not be opposed to expanding the universe and doing more. And I was like, yes, yes, give them
Mhm.
more because I think they've done such a great job with the super family and the super characters. And this season in particular, there was, and I didn't want to spoil it for
Mm.
you beforehand. There was like a take on the death of
Mhm.
Superman. It wasn't the exact
Mhm.
same. Like if I told you before the season started, hey, they're doing Death of Superman, there's an expectation of what that is for a Superman fan. And they took that, but then they almost modernized it. Like they gave it a fresh coat of paint, and it felt fun. It felt new. It didn't feel like the same old, same old. Which, real
Mhm.
quick, side
Mhm.
tangent. I watched Batman Nightfall Volume One,
Yes.
brand new DC
Yeah.
animated, and that to me is the exact opposite of what I just described on My Adventures with
Oh.
Superman, where it is almost beat for beat the comic, and I already know that story. So there's very little that was brought that was new to it besides the actors' performances. I did like Anson Mount as Bruce Wayne, but at the end of it, I felt like a little empty, and I felt like, man, this didn't give me that same euphoric feeling that My Adventures with Superman did, where I feel like it's new, it's fresh, it's something I haven't seen before in this anime take on Superman. And man, and on top of all that, it it does advertise itself as like either like a hard PG-13 or like a
Mm.
light R, and it is that. Like I was kind of disappointed because like, man, I can't really watch this with my son. This is not appropriate at all for him. And I don't think Batman should be that way. I don't agree with that take. So I was a little bit disappointed by that as well.
That is too
So
bad.
My Adventures with Superman and the Batman Nightfall on two different sides of the DC spectrum. But um, My Adventure with Superman, I can watch that every week with my son, with my wife. Like the whole family can gather around and enjoy these stories, even if they didn't
Mm.
know
Yeah, right.
the previous Death of Superman stories like I did. So I thought this season
It
was
was
fantastic.
terrific. It was just terrific. I mean, Death of Superman was, yeah, was obviously sort of the crown jewel of the season, right? And it was what everything was centered around and led up to, and it was sort of the storyline running through everything, the whole Henshaw thing. Interesting that they use Henshaw sort of in place of Doomsday, and and obviously Hank Henshaw comes from that story originally, but from in a different
Yes.
part of that story, different context. So
Yes.
it's a very interesting,
Right.
just complete mashup of all the different names and concepts and
Yeah.
things from the original Death of Superman and the version you've seen
Yes.
told
And
and even modified. This is a completely different take on it
yes.
entirely.
And also I think the reign of the
Mhm.
Supermen, like those two mashed up together because, like you said, we have Henshaw, we have Eradicator, we have Superboy, which ends up being a different version than the one we're used to. So that also the Terminator of it
Yeah.
all, of John coming back and the future. Like I was like, oh, this is great. This is a great
Yes.
spin on that original story. So yeah, they really put their stamp on this season of we are going to be original, we're going to be creative, we're going to do this in a way that you haven't seen before. And even the other stories of the season of like Jimmy and the dating apps
Yes.
and the ball and all those. Yeah, anytime Jimmy was on screen, I was laughing,
I mean,
which he's been.
they went full Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen with like
Yes,
literally
yes,
turned him into
yes.
a turtle. Like they literally did the whole thing. They did it,
Yes,
like
that was
oh,
amazing. And he's had these running gags throughout, like, was it last, yeah, it had to be last season where he had the money, like, he got rich, and then you saw the
yes.
count of him spending
Mhm.
the money every time
Mhm.
that he's had these little shticks of just fun stuff, and every time you hear the flame, every time somebody says flame bird, you hear the bird
Yes.
in the background that kind of
Jimmy Flamberg.
caw-caw, like yes. Oh man, and Supergirl this
Yeah.
season, like I loved the
Mhm.
Supergirl portrayal and the performance by the actor. Um, this is the first thing that I've seen her or
Mhm.
heard her in, and man, she just does a great job. This version of
Mm.
Kara, um, I think this might be my favorite Supergirl that
Wow.
I've seen, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually did a short on my channel about kind of the different Supergirl
Mhm.
costumes over
Mhm.
the years. And my adventures with Superman, I said, I think is my favorite this season 3 Supergirl
Mhm.
costume, where she had kind of like a collar cape type of
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that went around her neck. And I really liked the design. And this, we got two different versions of Supergirl
Yeah.
this year, one in live action and one in animation. And I think I prefer this
Mhm.
version. No offense to Millie Alcock, but I like this version of Supergirl, I think, more. So just kudos and hats off to everyone involved, the whole creative team, and then the actors. Everything came together, man. It's so hard to think of a bad thing about this season. Like I liked everything about this
Dude, yeah,
season.
like, as the season went on, like, it really like, it really did it really built, up to something, and
Yes.
I guess they've done that every season, but they really like, it was very much like one piece
Yes.
building on another. Um, I did enjoy the, "It's Raining Supermen," um, episode.
Yes.
Uh,
Man,
and what did you think of the Lex storyline, throughout the season?
he when he was originally introduced last season, I didn't really like that
Mm,
interpretation, and I think this season, I really grew as the episodes went on. I really grew more and more fond of Lex, and then we get kind of the classic bald Lex by the
yes.
end of it, and I thought and they leave it on kind of a cliffhanger with him where you can see what like he's building towards something.
Mm,
He's evolving throughout this season, and at the end, I'm like, "Oh, there's more. Do not stop this story. There is more here to tell." And I thought they did a
mm.
really good job. That actor also did the Hank Henshaw voice, so he was doing
Oh, okay.
um, very similar to in X-Men '97. The Xavier actor does
Mhm.
Apocalypse, and so he's like talking to himself on a bunch of scenes. But I thought, yeah, that you could like he did 2 completely different
Yes.
performances for Henshaw and for Lex. It was like, whoa, I would not have known unless I saw it in the credits that he did
I
both
did not
voices.
know that. That's incredible.
Um, yeah, so that basically him having to work with the super family at the end, I thought was really
Yeah.
interesting. Um, because I haven't talked to you about this. There's been a few different characters
Yeah.
lately that I've been wondering about where they've always been known as
Yep.
villains our entire lives. Um, and now currently they are heroes. And specifically in the Spider-Man universe, J. Jonah
Mhm.
Jameson and Norman
Mhm.
Osborn, both of them have they have been allies of Spider-Man for years now because comics always do that where all right, it's a one shot or a couple issues and then they're back to being bad guys again. Even Dr. Octopus for a while he was Spider-Man and then now he's back to being a bad guy again. But these have stuck, J. Jonah Jameson and Norman Osborn, and the public viewpoints of these characters are kind of trapped in amber where it's like every video game, every TV show, every movie, like you've cemented in people's minds that, oh, Jonah hates Spider-Man. Like that's the classic
He's a
JJJ,
menace.
and obviously Norman Osborn. Yes, people know that, and so the comics have evolved, and I'm always I like that because it's like there's some type of evolution there, but then also over the in the back of my mind, I'm like, ah, it's comics. They're gonna do it at some point. They're gonna do it. So that's kind of like what I felt like with Lex in this season. I was like, oh man, I'm getting that feeling of I like him as a good guy. I like him working with. I like him not a good guy, but like he's more heroic than he
Sure.
is
Yes.
antagonist, and so I like that. And what is it about comics always have this um illusion of the third
Hmm.
act. It's always you see the first two acts and then they're just stuck. They can't ever evolve or the story's going to end. And so I I like it when you do feel like there's a next stage, there's a next step of evolution of characters. So I'm just it's so interesting being like a child of the 90s and thinking about a lot of these things for over the course of the last 30
Yes.
years. You think of certain characters as okay, they're only going to be one way, and then when you get them another way, like whether it's an Elseworld or a What If, it's always like, oh man, it would be interesting if they did make that change,
Yeah.
if they actually went with the main version going like that. So I thought this was a very interesting look at Lex
Hmm.
Luthor.
I know exactly the feeling you're talking about. Like that's how I felt the first time I read like Red Sun. I was like, whoa, this
Yes,
would be a
yes,
really interesting, like I would read an ongoing in this world, like
yes, yes, yes.
because there's decades of story right there to tell, right? Yeah, I,
Hmm.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's it's I, I it took me some convincing, honestly. I didn't love this portrayal of Lex last season. I was sort of like just okay on it, and
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
did warm up to him this season, and he changed a lot, obviously, um,
Yes. Yep.
but I definitely did warm up to him. They kind of won me over with what they pulled off here.
And I'm partial to super smart
Mhm.
characters. Like
Mhm.
there's two type archetypes in comics that I love. I don't think I've ever shared this with you. The super intelligent, so Mr. Fantastic, Lex Luthor, Mr. Terrific, even Rick from Rick and Morty. Like when a character is like the most intelligent person on the planet, I just love that. Like I think it's like a maybe a wish
Mhm.
fulfillment or like a power fantasy where like, oh man, wouldn't it be great to be the smartest guy in the world? And then speedsters. I love
Yes,
Flash,
of
any
course.
type of speed characters. So Lex Luthor, he hits that itch for me of the smartest character, the brightest character. And I'm always when we read the stories where it was like, if Superman wasn't there, he could have cured cancer. He could have solved
Sure.
all these things, but he got hyper focused on an alien and all of these things. That is always interesting to me. I always love what he could have
Mm,
been if he hadn't been distracted.
I love that. So if the super intelligent and the speedsters, are sort of your two of your favorite things there, like I guess when Michael Rosenbaum played Wally, that must have been it for you.
I never thought about that, but now that you say that, yes, that would be the dream pairing combination together. Yes, my two loves.
It's funny, funny, funny.
But that's also like with the um with
Hmm.
Spider-Man, whenever I see him in a live action thing, I'm always like, I wish play up his intelligence more. Show us how smart he is. Like that's what I want to see. I love him, it's from an action standpoint, swinging and
Hmm.
fighting, but I want to see him solve things with his brain.
Yeah.
Like give me some of that stuff. So that's always a bonus for me when I see it in live action. The intelligence and then the humor,
Yeah.
like make him doing quips, make him saying funny things. That's always a plus for me on Spider-Man.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And we were recently just talking about how much that how much that improved our experience watching Tom Holland most recently.
Yes, yes. Man, I I really am fascinated to see the length of
Mm,
time that he's gonna get to play with Spider-Man because of his age when he first accepted the role, he's now been really given the longest runway with this character, and I wonder when he's done, when he hangs up the webs, are they gonna try that
mm,
again to get someone as young as him, 18, 19, and try to have that runway again? Or are they gonna go back to "All right, we're gonna hire a 30-year-old and say he's a
sure,
high schooler." I wonder what's gonna happen at that point because it most likely will be like 20 in the
sure.
2030s when he's not Spider-Man anymore. So, what approach are they gonna be? Like, what's gonna be popular at that point
Who
in
says they
time?
even need to? Who says they even need to have him be in high school? Like they could just be telling stories about Spider-Man in his 30s. You know?
Yeah. 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 I really wanna see what I'm curious. I hope I live long enough to see what happens, with the next Spider-Man, iteration because it's been such a great journey. If you think about where we were with Spider-Man in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
'90s, and we were watching the animated series and then hoping for a live action version, then you cut to 30 years later, and all of the different iterations we've gotten, I don't think I could have predicted like, when I look back on it, I always wanted it because he's my favorite character, but I don't know if I could have predicted there would have been this many movies made, and the character's popularity, I think, has even risen with the live
Yeah.
action. I feel like even more people are talking about Spider-Man. Now that could be social media. I'm seeing people versus when I was growing up, I wasn't seeing as many people talking about it,
It's definitely keeping it in
but
the zeitgeist.
it's interesting. Yes. Yeah. Um, and we're also in this era now where it's like nerd is the new cool, right? Like it's not something we have to hide in our. Oh, I like comic books. I like superheroes, but I also like
Sure,
football.
sure,
I
sure.
like the other cool stuff. So yeah, I wonder where it's gonna be when my son is
I know.
old, when he's a man, or when your daughter is
Yeah,
our
sure.
age. Like, where's it gonna be?
I
Because these characters are gonna be around. Superman and Spider Man are gonna
yes,
be there. So what version are they gonna be
right.
in?
Right. What medium will they be in by that point? You know, like will it be the same ones that we the same media that we consume now? Will any of them still be around? I don't know. Interesting.
I'm really yeah. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be physical media at
No, no,
that
I don't
point,
think so.
like, I wonder what the popular thing will be. I'm hoping it's going to a movie and watching a 2-hour thing and not, "All right, here's a 5-minute TikTok, and that's gonna be
Mhm,
the thing that we consume every day." I'm hoping the
mhm.
longer form comes back with Gen Z and Gen Alpha and Gen whatever the next generations are coming, like, I'm hoping the longer attention span kind
I
of
think that'll stick
comes
around.
back.
I think it's just going to become more like going to the opera or something or the orchestra. Like that used to be the
Yeah,
entertainment of the day, and now it's an old art
right,
form that we still preserve
right,
and enjoy, but like it's a specialty interest.
right,
Um, kind of
yeah.
my guess.
I'm actually curious, I don't think we've talked about this. I'm curious to get your thoughts on movies right now. The it's hard to say, like, in a vacuum because I feel like 2026 has been this weird year of obsessions,
Hmm.
backroom, like, these little things getting huge popularity, and then it's thought of as an event, and that's what's getting you
Right.
into the theater. Spider-Man, we hadn't had a movie in 5 years, so it was kinda like an event to go back to see Spider-Man, um, and this is some people's theory, like I said, I haven't talked to you about this. Superman came out last year, so Supergirl, there wasn't enough
Mm,
time to make people
yeah.
miss a super character, which doesn't bode well for Man of
Right.
Tomorrow, but we'll see what happens with that. But what is your thoughts on movies needing to be an
Mm.
event to get people out to the theater? Do you think that's the way that it's going right now, or do you think this has just kind of been a weird
No,
year
I think
for
that's the way
movies?
it's been. Like, look at all the anticipation for like The Force Awakens, obviously way back in the day, the anticipation for The Phantom Menace, right? Highly anticipated films of all time, those two. And they did big box office, both of them. Set records. Um when you look at Solo, that came about 5 or 6 months after The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
like, that really, I think there we didn't miss Star Wars
There wasn't
enough,
enough
like,
time.
Last Jedi did
Mhm.
great, obviously, then there was the whole everything that happened after that, but it did well at the box office, right? And um, I think people were just not ready for didn't miss Star Wars enough 6 months later to kinda make a big show of it again. Um, so
A lot of people are saying that with Mando and
yeah,
Grogu, where it was on TV, and so people didn't when it became a movie, there wasn't enough time in between.
yeah,
Even though there had been like 7 years between a Star Wars movie,
right. You would
the
think that would,
theory
yeah, in theory, that would do it, but yeah, I it feels like it's just no one has really had a chance to miss Baby Yoda, right? To miss Grogu.
yeah,
Um,
which it hurts me because I want
yeah,
more, and uh, sometimes Tim and I will argue about, I want more of something, and he's like,
less is more.
"Maybe
Yeah,
slow
yeah,
down." Yeah, the quality over the
sure.
quantity, but I guess I'm an optimist because it's like I
Right,
want
right,
both.
right, right.
I want the quality with the quantity, like, it's like I want more. I want every story to be told
Yes.
instead of just these little bitty, like, because I felt like that's how we got to the point where the only thing that's working is Batman, Superman, Wonder
Uh-huh.
Woman, and anything else you try, the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, like, you try to have another one, and it just doesn't get off the ground because people are like, "Oh, that's not the thing I'm used to," and it's like, I want people to expand, I want more
Sure.
characters, I want more stuff to get out there. So, I uh, I don't like that notion of it has to be an event, or we can only have a small amount because people will get tired, because I'm like, well, how do you ever expose someone to something
Yeah.
new if it's the same thing over and over again to get people, to hype people up for an event? Doomsday is a very good
Yeah.
example of, okay, let's bring back Chris Evans, let's bring back Robert Downey Jr., let's bring back the
Bring them all
Russos,
back.
and it's like I'm excited, yeah, but I do wish there the the Eternals and the Marvels and all those had done
Yeah.
better, because these companies are taking the wrong message away. Oh, female-led
Right,
cast didn't perform, so don't ever do that again, like, or it'll be
right,
15 years before we
right.
get another one.
Like, one what the first
So
Wonder Woman movie taught us nothing.
right, right. And and then I'm kind of in a bad spot because on YouTube, in the comment section, I hear the same, it's like this vocal minority of, "It's
Oh,
woke.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why you can't have everything is a DEI. You can't have, any type of person of color. You can't have anything but a white male, and
That's it.
that's it. You cannot have
Anything else
anything
is
else."
DEI.
So I hope, man, I'm really hoping that we get something that kind of breaks the mold
Mhm.
from a lot of these things that we can point to and say, "Look, that thing was," and I almost feel like that's how Andor was, when
Yeah.
people were, like, telling me, "Oh, it's Star Wars is the same. Kathleen Kennedy is responsible for all these bombs," and it's like, Kathleen Kennedy is responsible
Yes.
for Andor. You cannot tell me that that's not the best Star Wars product of the last, I mean, maybe of all time. That might be
Mm.
controversial, but maybe up there with, to me, A New Hope and Empire are probably like the 2, but Andor is right up
Mm.
there with the original, properties, like it's man, how do you get that brilliance and then say that the current woke ideas are bad? Like it's like
Yeah,
look at this.
exactly.
Yeah,
We sh-
that's the same thing with
we should just be in charge.
okay.
I just think we should just run all the studios
Yeah,
and
yeah. Let's have our voices be heard. Oh, also pay us, please.
yes, please.
Put us as the CEOs and the heads of
Hmm.
television. Actually, Frank, I want to get your
Yes.
thoughts real quick on the heads of Disney.
Hmm.
Apparently, again, I think taking the wrong
Hmm.
message away from the recent kind of floundering of MCU stuff. They've now kind of taken this approach where they've cut all live
Hmm.
action TV shows off of their like
Yeah, this
they are not
they now
making them
kind of are
anymore.
using Disney Plus as an animation play for
Yes.
Star Wars too. It seems.
Yes, right. Marvel, Star Wars, like they man, it's so interesting to see the trajectory of Disney Plus, like what they thought when it
Yeah.
first came out until now. And that idea of and that goes back to like I was saying, I want more TV shows. Like I want to see more of these things. But then Disney now is kind of okay, we will only be the movie
Right.
company for Star Wars and for
But
or
for
live
live
action, I
action,
should
yeah,
say.
yeah.
But what do you
I
think
think
about that?
that's really unfortunate because, like you just said, Andor and like Wonder Man and like and
Yes,
everything
that
that came before it.
oh
You know what I mean?
man.
Like there are so many examples of really, really great shows that they put together. WandaVision, like all these terrific, amazing properties that they created, live action series. And it seems like a shame to just like somewhat arbitrarily just decide that like that kind
Right.
of storytelling, if
Because
we're
it
just not going to do that anymore. I get it's more expensive. I
yeah.
get like I get all of that, but I guess this is really a symptom of like they put unrealistic hopes on the whole like move from cable to streaming. Like they did it in a very
Yep.
unrealistic way. It was obviously where everything was going, but the business model and the way that they went about it is so now they're trying to salvage it, right? And they're going about it in ways that to us seem strange, but to them makes a lot of business sense. Um,
Yeah.
so it's just it's weird. I it's unfortunate. I wish it didn't have to be that way. Um,
And Wonder Man is like the
I
biggest. I
know,
mean, you could have even just let Wonder Man slide in there. Like if you're gonna clean house and say, okay, no more live
but
action,
one more
right?
of these,
But
you
yeah,
know,
make an exception because they had already said we've greenlit season two. It's coming. Like everybody was
right?
ready, and then no, we're gonna take that back. Like
Come
why?
on, come on.
Well, I wish I would have been a fly on the wall to hear like
I
the
know,
meetings. What was the impetus behind that? You have an Emmy nominated star, like the script is amazing. And Destin Daniel Cretton just did
right?
Brand New Day, and that's going to be one of the highest grossing movies of all time. And I was kind of shocked that they didn't give him a hall pass, like a blank
Sure,
check
yeah,
of hey, you can
right,
do
right,
whatever you
right.
want because he wanted to do. Is from what I'm hearing, he wanted to do Wonder Man season two. So it just feels like they're kind of putting themselves in a box because you can only make so many movies. And then that was another thing where they were coming out with 3 movies a year. And I was like, yeah, yeah. But most people, I don't want to do homework. I'm getting superhero
Right.
fatigue and all this stuff. I was never that way.
It's the
But
same, but
you, if they limit it now to 1, maybe 2
mhm,
a year, then like how are you ever going to get to the Wonder Mans, those taking those kind of swings? If you're only getting 1 or 2, you're gonna do X-Men, you're gonna do Spider-Man, you're gonna do Avengers. It's like, you're never gonna take another
I
swing.
know.
So that
I
kinda
know. I
makes me
think they
mad.
are kind of boxing themselves into a corner and kind of potentially setting themselves up for kind of a downward spiral, where it is just like we just start making more lowest common denominator. So let's just make it the same 5 characters because that's what people like.
Yeah.
Um, kind of like DC, just like, well, Trinity. Trinity's what works. Just stick to the Trinity, and that's it. Um, I'm
Man.
glad, to be clear, I'm glad that DC is branching out with all the things that they've done since the new regime came in, right? Like, didn't even start with the first thing being like the first big screen property, sure, was Superman, but started the new universe before that. So
Yeah,
Creature
Creature
Commandos, like, you
Commandos
would
and
never
then
expect Creature Commandos to be how you start your
Peacemaker.
new universe, right? So
Right.
I respect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, man. Dang, I really hope we still get creative
I
swings.
really
Like we
hope so.
get one shots and like what was it? Werewolf by
Mm.
Night that had the black and
Mhm.
white and uh Loki, getting the joy and the gem of
Oh man,
Loki
what a
both
good yeah,
seasons.
exactly. Right. Like, what a
I
shame it would
just
be not to
yeah.
have that.
It's really going to be interesting to see after
Mhm. Wars.
Secret
Secret
Wars or
Wars.
Secret I always get Wars. It's Ghost Rider and X-Men. That's the only things that have been announced. So, what is that buildup gonna be to? Because that's what we're kind of used to these phases
Right.
now. What is that phase gonna be? I don't think they have a goal or I don't think they have a plan. At least they don't wanna
Right.
tell us. So, I don't know, man. I hope it's good, but I'm just kind of unsure now. Whereas when they announced all the, here's the next 20 movies, that gave me some confidence that, oh, okay, they know what they're doing, they have a plan. But then it turned it out they kind of didn't know what they were doing. Like they were just saying it to get the shareholders and to get
Right.
people's confidence. And it's like, no, don't just say it.
Right.
Actually do it.
Right.
Actually have a plan in place.
It's really funny because it mostly works for Marvel when they do that, right? When they show us the timeline that's
Yeah.
going to be 20 years out or whatever. And then on the flip side, I think they tried to do that at Lucasfilm, and they just kept
Yes.
falling flat on their face, like
Yeah.
announcing projects that were never going to happen, and just
Yeah.
like
Another
right.
disappointment. Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I am very excited about what I'm hearing about,
Starfighter. It's
Starfighter. Like,
sounding.
everyone is talking
Mhm.
about.
The buzz
It's
is very
great.
good.
So, I'm really I'm
Yeah,
really excited
yeah,
about
the
that.
buzz is very very good.
But then what comes after that, Frank? What is like, I don't know if the Ray movie is ever gonna happen. Like, they keep is it on? It's
I don't
off,
think it
it's
was
on, it's
ever
off.
really on. I mean, like they talked to Daisy Ridley, but like I don't think it was ever really a go. I think it was
If they come out and be like, "Hey, guess what? We made The Hunt for Ben Solo. Here it is. We already did it. Adam Driver already made it. You didn't even know about it." I would go crazy. People would lose
it's
their
true. I don't know.
minds if
Much like we were
if they
saying
had
before, I
that.
think we need to miss them more. I think it needs to have been at least 15 years. Like they need to,
Anakin Hayden
yeah,
Christensen was, I think, that way, where every the fans
yeah.
went crazy when he came back for Ahsoka and Obi-Wan because he had been gone for so long, because he had been gone for like 20
Mhm,
years at
mhm.
that point. So, yeah, oh man, there is
There
something
is.
to that. But then I guess what do you do in the meantime when you're waiting to get that person back? It's like
What
what
do you do? Yeah.
they need to come up with new stuff. They need new
Yeah.
blood. They need new stuff coming out.
I think, Dave Filoni is cooking up something. That's my
Ooh, man,
I think
I really
he's
hope so because he's got such a good
yeah.
take on the Star Wars universe, and it feels so close to what George's
Yes,
take
yeah.
was. So
He
I'm
learned from
really
George, you're
interested
right.
to see how that
And
goes.
honestly, if Disney's strategy, from the top down is really gonna be like, this is an animation platform, that's where Dave thrives, right? Like, that's his jam. So, I think that actually might put him in a very good position to do some really incredible creative work, in
Yes.
his, medium, and maybe still branch out into live action on the big screen, who knows? But wow, we really covered a lot. We covered everything from My Adventure with Superman season 3 to
Yes.
the current state of Spider-Man and Star Wars and the MCU. I love when you come on the show, dude. It's always so good to have you. Do you want to tell folks about This Comic Cooks and all the places that they can find you online?
Yes, and I do wanna say that the feeling is mutual. I love both geeks. I love talking to you guys, and not I like having an outlet of our
Yeah.
geekdom that we can go back and forth. So thank you again for having me. And if anyone is interested in comic books in general, if you're interested in Lanterns right now on HBO Max, this comic cooks. I'm trying to put out as many shorts as possible, as well as juggle some long form stuff in there. But YouTube and TikTok is where you will find me. This comic cooks.
I can't like my shorts and TikTok feeds. I cannot. I never open the app without seeing you. I almost said I can't open it without seeing you, but that implies that I want to not see you. I do. I'm thrilled every time to have another dose of Vactor in my timeline in my feed. But folks, check that out. We have been doing shows together for almost 20 years. You and I. I think our
Whoa.
first
Dang.
thing we ever did was in '08 or '09. So we're coming up on
Dang.
20 years of recording it together. It's been
Yeah.
right?
Man, that's
Isn't that
crazy.
nuts? Completely. We lived in different states. It was a different lifetime. Uh, anyway, you
Dang.
can find Beer with Geeks going back almost that far, not quite, but almost. Going back to 2013, when Tim and I started this little adventure, or 2014. Ugh, I'm forgetting. No, 12 years. Yeah, 2014. Beerwithgeeks.com. Find us on all the podcast apps. We're on YouTube, and of course, rate and review us, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things. Thank you very much. Rate and review us, etc., etc., etc. We thank you humbly for your generosity. Hey, all our best to Tim and his family. And so let's raise a toast to them and say cheers.
Cheers.